Do you have any tips on how to make a podcast more engaging or interesting?
So I think the easiest, so like you have entertaining and you have useful, right? Like I do think there's a degree of people that will listen to it if it's only useful, right? So like, and usefulness is going to be easier to hit than entertaining, right? Entertaining is a little bit more of an amorphous component, whereas usefulness is a little bit of a binary where you can like hit it and get it and you can structure it. It's a little bit more mechanical. So I would say at the very least, it should be useful. Um, and like if you can, like, what is the purpose of someone listening? Like what do they hope to accomplish by listening to this? And I think like, you think of like the most popular podcast in the world, Joe Rogan podcast. It's like he's not teaching anybody something. So I would say for that, it's like easy for him. He literally is a stand-up comedian. He's a comedian, so it's easy for him to create something that's going to be entertaining for 3 hours and interesting to him. But it's not so much like nobody listens to this Joe Rogan podcast to like level up their world history. It's like let's get entertained about this topic. So yeah, I think just being self-aware of where you fit in, I think is really valuable, and a useful content B2B podcast is going to be easier to create. And then if you can make it entertaining on top of it, like that's the icing on the cake.
Well, that leads me into my next question, which is what makes a business-focused podcast different to one focused more on consumers?
So that's really interesting. I would say for us, I really put the emphasis on utility. Like, why would someone, with all the things that they have to do, they have clients to manage, their boss is telling them to get better results, like all this stuff. Our goal of the episode, I always say it in the beginning, it's our designed to make your Amazon advertising life a little bit easier and a little bit more profitable. So like that's sort of a tagline of the show where it's just like we're trying to legitimately help make it easier. So like the bar that I keep coming back to is like, does it actually make people's lives easier listening to this thing? So that really is the goal. And I think it's easy for the B2B context, right? Like it's easy to make a B2, like a business easier. Like it's easy to do that. There's so many ways, there's so many things that a business can do to improve their efficiency, to improve their effectiveness, to get better results. Like there's a million things to do. And that's what we focused on week in, week out. Like if there's a new screen that Amazon releases, like a new tool that they release, has nothing to do with our tool. It's just a new screen that Amazon creates. Like that's an episode where it's just like, let's break this down. How could you use this? So it's like a little bit of like news of the industry. It's a little bit tips of the industry. It's a little bit, and if you can sprinkle in some entertaining bits in there, like you have a good recipe.
I think the other big advantage with a podcast, specifically for a SaaS business too, is when you've got a software product, you're not actually selling a solution. You're selling a tool that someone can use to solve the problem themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And tools only have value if you understand how to use it.
Right.
So there's always education around every SaaS product. So it sort of feels like they lend themselves pretty nicely to, having a podcast for a SaaS product seems like a natural fit.
Yeah, the more knowledgeable our customers are, the better they're going to be able to use our tool. It's a no-brainer for us.
Hey, it's Ryan here. If you like that video, please click the like and subscribe button somewhere down there and check out the full interview right over here. Go on, click it. You know you want to.